Hey y'all, Super here. The topic of gatekeeping custom models and model recreations has been on my mind for quite some time, and I'd like to share my thoughts on it. First, let me provide a little backstory on custom models. Custom models for Super Mario 64 have been a trend that has exploded in recent years due to tools such as the Blender Importer and Fast64 that make creating and importing models into the game relatively easy. As one may think, this has been monumental for machinima. No longer must we use color codes or outdated SM64 editor hacks for characters in our videos, unless you want to intentionally make your videos look worse. What a model author chooses to do with their model is ultimately up to them. Most choose to release their models to the community. However, some models are more personal and thus chosen to remain private. Models like this that come to mind are people's channel mascots, model edits to existing characters, or a person's own original characters. From my own experience, I'm extremely cautious of my models, specifically Grace's. In the past, I've unfortunately seen what people could and would do with her, and how concerningly stubborn people are about getting the model. A clip from this time period, or as I like to call it, the Dark Age, that comes to mind is from Weechpie's The Invincibility Curse, in which Supette, not Grace, I specifically want to differentiate the iterations of her, is degraded and used to make a Fuda joke.
I have a dick.
It's also the video's most replayed section, which does not make me feel any better about it. Honestly, if I knew what he was going to do with the model, I wouldn't have given it to him. That video, among other things, are just obstacles I'm trying to overcome for Grace to be a character that people can actually respect, as that is really hard to achieve in this type of community. I believe that gatekeeping models like Grace's can be beneficial, not just to avoid inappropriate content, but also because the models created for specific uses require careful consideration of how they're represented. MG1 brought this up in June's monthly report. Models designed for particular purposes need more attention in terms of their writing or behavior, or they might be misused, like...
I have a dick.
That's a very, very bad thing, if you haven't guessed. Now that you know why I specifically choose to gatekeep models like this, let's get into model recreations and how I feel about those. If a model you want is private, what is the logical next step? Asking the original author if you could have it? No, of course not. You gotta actually recreate the model from the ground up without permission. Do you see the problem with this? These models are private for a reason, and if somebody is willing to recreate them without your consent, they may be the reason why the model is kept private in the first place. A few private models that have partially or fully been recreated that come to mind are SM64's N64 model, SM64 Rises model, Subpar's Leline, and even Grace herself. Having Grace's model almost be recreated was a problem specifically for me because I'm just not comfortable with someone going against my wishes and creating a model that's supposed to be private. With Rise's model, the one who recreated it basically just gave it out to anybody who asked. It was color codable and everything, and people were like setting the model with their color code on it as their profile pictures and saying it was hot, and ugh. I couldn't bear to see Grace go through the same thing, and after seeing what a few certain individuals have done in the past, my mind started spinning with all the negative consequences to just having a scarily accurate recreation of her just out there could cause. So I immediately asked for the production on that replica to cease. Thankfully, the author said they wouldn't go about finishing it, but that whole incident gave me the scare of a lifetime and just outright left me feeling uneasy. So, yeah, overall, I am genuinely concerned about the trend of recreating private models, as it undermines the author's trust in privacy. If a creator wanted their model to be public, they would have released it themselves. So, my message to model authors is to be cautious and share more sensitive models with only people you trust. And to those considering recreating a private model, please at least have the courtesy to ask the original author for permission. By following these common decencies, we can promote a more trustworthy and respectful community for everybody involved. If I missed anything or didn't clarify something enough, I'll just put it in the comments. That's it from me for now. Have a corntastic day. Why did I agree to say that?